Hekelo, it's a new face. Good morning, Hekelo. Says, what happens to Bitcoin in a widespread cyber attack grid down scenario? Well, think about it. That's something that I wish people would think more on and figure out themselves, because I know the answer to that. But what do you think would happen in a widespread cyber attack where the grid's down? Could you use Bitcoin? No. Nope. Well, you could. I mean, there's ways to do it with mesh networks and with eCash you can send offline. But for the most part, like we're talking about 500 people on the entire earth who know how to do that. So that's not, I don't consider that to be an option. But what would happen with that is that if the power went down, if there was a cyber attack, there's 20,000 nodes currently out there, approximately 20,000. So each one of those nodes, and what a node is basically just software on your computer, and every 10 minutes you get a new updated copy of the Bitcoin ledger. That's what it is, essentially, in a very non-technical way to put it. And so every one of those 20,000 people have a copy of the updated blockchain. That's how it would be restored. I'm thinking one of those 20,000 people would have a copy of it. And also, I think Blockstream has a node up in a satellite. So even if something were to happen down here, I think that it would be fine. So what would happen? It would go down for a while, probably. If nobody's putting electricity into the Bitcoin network, then there's going to be no blocks. But when it comes back on, we'll have 20,000 people, or at least one person from the 20,000 people who would have a copy of the blockchain from the last 860,000 blocks. It'd be available. So what do? You just pick up from there. And if you compare that to something like the banking system that we have now, the traditional banking system, where it's very centralized. So what I just talked about was very decentralized, right? 20,000 people, 20,000 nodes across the world. That number is going to grow. It's growing every day. But with the banking system, that's one, centralized. So if that gets hit and it's gone, there's no way to restore that. And do you think that they would? Do you think that the people causing the cyber attack or grid down, do you think that they want those numbers to come back? $35 trillion worth of debt. Do you think that they want that to come back to life? I doubt it. So you got money in the bank. Who knows? You owe debt. Who knows? You got stocks. Who knows? But you got Bitcoin. It's going to be there. And whenever the power comes back on, whatever Bitcoin you had in your wallets before, it's going to be there after. The fiat price could have crashed to $5,000 or $5 or what doesn't matter. The same amount of Bitcoin that you had before the attack, you're going to have after the attack. And that's the most important part.